Whenever I go on vacations or certain trips, I like to have certain essentials with me so I'm always able to get some type of work done. And I thought, why not have a video to kind of break down some of those essentials that I tend to have in my bag. So this is a what's in my bag for 2022.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
For those of you who may not know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Steven Vieira. I am a content creator and graphic designer. So being able to work at any point, regardless of any situation, is very important to me. Being with this type of job and I guess hobby, it's a 24-hour, 7 days a week kind of thing. Even if they're just very simple tasks, being able to kind of knock some of those things out is pretty important. So first things first, of course, let's talk about the bag itself. This is the Brevite Jumper book bag. And the reason why I chose this book bag over a lot of other kind of camera bags and these bigger bags really is because of its simplicity and its look. As you'll see throughout the video, you'll notice I have a lot of important technology in here. So I wanted a bag that wasn't going to stand out too much and kind of yell and scream, hey, I'm a very expensive bag, please steal me. I wanted something that was a bit more kind of low key and kind of just looks like a regular book bag for the most part from the exterior, but kind of serves a more of a unique purpose from a typical kind of JanSport book bag, if you will. Of course, I had to get it in the all black colorway, mainly because, as you could tell, that's kind of my thing. It's held up pretty well. I think I've had this book bag for about a year now, year and a half or so, maybe even 2 years, and it's held up pretty well. I mean, there's really no nicks, no scratches. I mean, it might have some dirt here and there, just depending on where I just went, but it's held up pretty well. There's really no complaints on my end. Now, let's talk about some of the accessories. The first one being on the back. Now, I have here a Peak Design camera clip. This allows me to be able to actually clip on the camera that's currently recording right on the strap of the book bag, being able to pull out the camera at a moment's notice if I'm taking some photos like on a hiking trip or something like that where something happens all of a sudden and you don't really have too much time to get the shot. Being able to kind of just press one button and be able to pull it out and be able to use it is a luxury, and being able to put it back very quickly and not have to hold it in your hands while you're doing some type of walking is pretty important. So moving on to the side, we have a hydro flask, and of course had to get it in all black once again. And this is perfect because it fits right in the actual water bottle holder, I guess, that the book bag already has. And I use this pretty much every single day whenever I go to the gym, or again, if we're going on some type of trip, being able to have some water on hand and not have to buy it is pretty nice. Keeps it nice and cool during those hot summer days, and it looks really clean and really sleek. So I might one day start adding like stickers and stuff for like Sane's Media and all that, but for now I kind of like the more minimal look, and yeah, serves pretty well. Typically on the bottom as well with these straps, I use these to hold the tripod that I'm currently using to record this video. And I typically just slide that here through the bottom so I don't actually have to carry it specifically. It's a little bulky and it's not the perfect solution, but it works. So I typically just slide it right through here, and I'll try to tighten it down as much as I can with the straps. And it holds it pretty well. It does slide a bit, and my tripod is quite long, so I have to be careful when I'm walking in between cars or something to not like nick anybody. But besides that, it does pretty well of just not having to hold it specifically. And this book bag is, of course, quite small and compact, so that's kind of the downside to the size of it and the certain components that it does or doesn't have. But I find that it works perfectly fine just sliding it through the bottom and not have to carry it around. So moving on from there, we have the kind of main compartment of the bag, the kind of main feature that really grabbed my attention when I was looking for a certain bag. Again, I was looking for a bag that was going to be able to occupy some form of mirrorless camera, because I knew that, you know, with certain content or even just taking photos and being able to use them maybe for certain designs and stuff like that is something that I do in my arsenal every once in a while. So being able to carry around a camera that is in a more specialized padded book bag was obviously super important. So opening up the main compartment, it does open like a typical kind of camera bag, and it has this main loft down below. I'm not going to go too far in detail with the actual features of the book bag. You can always search a quick YouTube video on the Brevite Jumper book bag yourself and kind of see if maybe you're interested in getting it yourself, or you just want to see some of the more unique features that this book bag has to offer. But for me, at the moment, you'll kind of notice it's a bit empty, but I have certain components still in here that I'm not actually using at the moment to film this video. Now, right here in this section here is normally where I actually have the camera itself. It has space to put the lens right through here, right in the middle, and then the body of the camera kind of slides on this side. Reason why I have it on this side is because on the side of the book bag, you have the ability to open up the flap, which is pretty nice. I don't really use this too often, if I'm being honest, just because I feel like it gets a little bit stuck on the inside. So pulling it out is a bit weird. And again, I have the clip on the strap itself, so I don't really find a need for it if I'm looking to access it pretty quickly. I typically just open it from the top and pull it from the top. Moving on from there, I have this case that I've kind of repurposed as a GoPro case. I actually don't use it too often, and I really should, to be honest with you. I just don't know what kind of content that I really would use with it, but I do still have it. This was a gift to me from my brother years ago. This is, I believe, the GoPro Hero 6, if I'm not mistaken. And I just have like some of the cables and attachments here within this case. But this case is actually for a hard drive that I use, but I kind of just repurposed it for the sake of this GoPro. And it works pretty well, so I'm not really complaining on that. But yeah, don't really use it, but I always keep it just in case if there is a moment where I know I can definitely use it. It's just at the moment, I don't really know what kind of content. If you guys know, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think would be some good content to use the GoPro for. So moving on from there, I have my SD card holder. This case holds up to 12 SD cards. I only have 2 extras. There's currently 2 in the camera right now, but I always have these kind of as my backup in case I ever run out of storage in the ones that are currently in the camera. I normally just flip-flop them, and I always go to these 2. This one was an old one that I still had lying around. It's not as fast and doesn't hold as much, but in those quick pinches where I need just like a few more clips to kind of round out the video, and for some reason I'm just completely full on every SD card, or I forgot to format it and wipe it, then I always have this one as a backup. Even if it's going to be super slow, it still works, so why not have it? Moving on from there, I have my camera battery bank, if you will. It holds 2 camera batteries for the Sony a7 III that I'm currently using. I find it's really good because of the ability to charge 2 different batteries at one time. I tend to not really run out of battery in my cameras, mainly because whenever I stream and I'm using this camera, I actually have it plugged in, so it's actually charging while it's being used throughout the streams. So typically I'm able to just rock 1 battery all of the time. But if I am going on a longer trip, of course, and we're out and about and there's obviously no way to just charge it on the go, I always have these 2 ready and powered up to be able to swap to. And then if I need to charge it, I can always use a USB, USB-C, or a regular micro USB port. So yeah. After that, I have this kind of small tripod. I don't know the name of this tripod necessarily. This tripod is great because I'm able to just use it whenever I want to get an up-close shot with either the camera that I'm currently using or my phone that's currently recording on the ceiling. Yes, I have my phone taped to the ceiling. That's how I'm getting the shot right now. So isn't that great? So this tripod's great because it's just kind of like a small, low-key tripod, and it's great for just putting on a desk somewhere, be able to get an up-close shot, or a very low angled shot very quickly. Being able to have something small in comparison to my main tripod is always great to have, and it fits perfectly within the bag itself. After that, I have this camera like cleaning kit, if you will. It's really just a spray and a mini cloth. I found a need for it one time when I went on a trip and I was shooting some astrophotography, and I found that given the climate that I was in, it was very humid, so my lens was actually starting to fog up a little bit, and I didn't really have anything to clean it besides like my shirt, obviously, after it was done. So I figured it'd probably be a smart idea to have some type of cleaning thing with me on hand just in case, especially if I'm going for the shot that I've been thinking about for a long time, or it's like a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. You always want to be ready and be able to get the most crisp shot that you can. So that's why I have this on hand after that experience. It's one of those things where you live and you learn, and that's kind of how the bag tends to evolve sometimes. So that section is now done. Typically in this section, I have the Joby 5K mount, and it's currently obviously on the tripod and the camera right now, so obviously it's not here, but normally this is where I'll store it whenever I'm going out. I'll typically throw it in this pocket here. Right now I have some of the covers for my lens for the back of my Sigma 24 to 70 f2.8 lens, I believe, and of course my Sony a7 Mark III. I actually have them just kind of twisted together. I typically never disconnect my lens to my camera because I only have one lens at the moment. So once I do purchase another one, I will be swapping things out. So of course these are gonna come more into play, but at the moment they kind of just live together. So I just have them chucked in there. Moving on from that, I also have a phone mount as well. I'm able to actually connect this obviously to the mini tripod that I have, so in case I need some phone shots as well, I'm always ready to go with that. It's always good to have, you never know, and it's very, very small, sleek, so why not kind of throw it in the bag. Finally, in this compartment here is typically where I have my Rode Video Micro, and that's obviously on the camera right now, capturing audio. So that typically goes right in here, and that's the only thing that actually lives in that spot. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the main compartment. Moving on to that upper loft location, this is typically where I have my accessories pouch. This is the Bellroy, I believe it's pronounced, kind of accessory kit, if you will, and I got it in gray. Unfortunately, there wasn't a black version, so in here, this is where I will house a lot of my essentials, mainly for my laptop. This is where I have my hard drive, my Apple Magic Mouse. I also have a little USB plug as well, obviously, to be able to charge anything via USB if I have an outlet. I have my phone charger. I have the cable for the hard drive itself, the portable hard drive. I have this flash drive just in case if I ever, for some reason, need to use it. It has its own like little strap, so I figured why not just have one just in case. I've had times where I didn't need it, so good thing I did. Of course, I have a Muji pen as well in case I need to write something down. And hidden in the back is my portable charger, and this is the Anker portable charger. I don't know the exact model it is, but this is great to have with me. I rarely have to charge this because it holds so much power within it. So it's great to have, of course, on certain trips. If I need to charge something, I always have it with me. And it does charge via USB, and I can actually charge multiple items as well, even my laptop as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so I have this always ready and handy whenever I need it. And of course, I also have the cable that goes with it as well in order to charge itself, essentially. So that is the accessories kit. I also have one more item in here as well, and it's kind of hidden away here on this zip right here at the top, and this is just my charger for my MacBook Pro, which I will get into shortly. But that kind of just hides right up here within this pouch and zipped away and pretty much out of sight, out of mind, so it doesn't seem too cluttered. Moving on to the front compartment, this is kind of the small accessories pieces. These are the ones that are easier to kind of get to, and I'll kind of just throw little things in here. Some of those things include my Apple AirPods. I always bring these whenever I go to the gym. I love listening to music, so these are kind of just a must for me. I also have a notebook as well, along with another pen. I typically just write certain notes in here, or maybe certain sketches, things like that, whenever I find the time, I always like to have some type of source of pen and paper to be able to kind of jot something down. I typically put it in my phone if it's maybe like a video idea or something like that. But other than that, I mainly kind of just do certain sketches or certain notes within here, or even just trying to figure out a certain idea and I just need to be able to get it down somewhere. I know that it's a lot quicker for me to do it on pen and paper than it to be digital. So I tend to always keep that with me in here. And even when I'm in the house, I'll just go to my book bag and pull this out to be able to just jot something down. So this is always great to have. And that lives right in here, kind of just stowed away. There is actually one piece of camera equipment that is actually in here, and it's this company called Opteka, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but this houses some ND filters and CPL filters, and they're just kind of held in this little pouch here. I got these for free whenever I bought the camera. I use them sometimes, specifically the ND filter, but I don't really use the CPL filter. But because these are nice and flat and I didn't really see a good space for them within the main compartment, since it's nice and flat, this kind of lives perfectly in this front section here up against the book bag itself. Finally, I also have an Apple AirTag, and it's actually connected to this kind of case. You're supposed to attach this to your keys, but I just like that it kind of looked like a card in a way. So I have this just slid right in here in case my book bag actually ever does get lost. Of course, I need to have some type of security measures because there is a lot of important equipment in here, especially when it's fully packed for a trip where I have my camera and a lot of the other audio equipment and things like that. There's a lot of stuff in here that I'm not trying to lose, so having some type of precaution to hopefully help me locate my bag is always a good peace of mind. Finally, we have the hidden compartments on the back. And one of them being at the top is for a laptop. And typically my laptop would be in here, of course, but currently I'm using it to record audio as well on the microphone. So that's slightly off camera at the moment, but that typically would live right in here. And it fits perfectly snug right on the back, so that's always good. And for the other hidden compartment is this on the side. This is typically for like passports and stuff like that, but I use it for my wallet. I have a Andar Wallet, and this wallet's pretty cool because there's a small little lever at the bottom, and that just opens up all of the cards at the top. So I thought that was pretty cool, pretty unique. And of course it has a section to be able to put some money and a little slit at the top to be able to put more of the important cards. So I just put my ID at the top. But that pretty much lives right back here in this little hidden compartment. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is all of the essentials that I carry around in my bag for 2022. A lot of these items I obviously used to record, so some of them weren't actually in the bag specifically, but all of the pieces that I did mention are the components that I'll bring on a trip. Obviously, if I'm going to the gym and I'm just leaving the house for a couple hours, I'm coming back, a lot of these things I may not have there. Of course, one of them being the laptop, even my camera. If I'm not gonna be recording something, I'm not gonna bring it with me, of course. So there's certain things I don't bring with me on a day-to-day basis, but when it comes to longer trips, if I'm gonna be out for a few days, those items that I mentioned are what I tend to bring with me in my bag. Over time, I suspect that they will probably change a bit, but at the moment, these are kind of the essentials that I really need to be able to get my work done when I'm outside of my main station at home. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the essential components that I use within my bag. If you guys like the video, be sure to leave a like down below, of course, and comment down below what bag you use on your day-to-day carries. Would love to be able to see what you guys are rocking. And without further ado, it has been myself, Steven, aka Scream. I appreciate you guys. I will see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out. Bye. I'm very surprised that my iPhone hasn't fallen. It's currently being held by like masking tape, so I think I did a pretty good job. I layered it up a few times, so yeah, looking pretty good. So it would have been hilarious if it fell, by the way.